Welcome to the show where we slice through the news with the swiftness of a Herero man's knife cutting through a cow's carcass. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has just signed into law the National Health Insurance Scheme, which feels like equality to some and to others, an opportunity for the corruptly rich to get richer, whilst the nation's health sector goes through more humps than the top of Jacob Zuma's head. If you're about to count the humps, here's a hint. Welcome to Second Take.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number, 085-785-6231, and WhatsApp hashtag 061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the hashtag 061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your votes for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061 Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
Welcome back to Second Take, where we dissect the news like a surgeon with a questionable license. Today we're diving into a story that's got the whole of South Africa buzzing louder than a vuvuzela at a funeral. President Cyril Ramaphosa has just signed off on what might be the most controversial law since BEE. Ramaphosa has given the green light to the National Health Insurance Scheme, promising universal healthcare for all. A noble goal, you might say. I mean, it went through Parliament last year and got the president's signature this week. Makes me wonder how far South Africa would be if every year since 1994 was 2 weeks away from an election. Anyway, if you listen to the main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, you'd think Ramaphosa just handed out free tickets to a fiscal apocalypse. They're calling this move the death warrant of healthcare in South Africa. A little dramatic, perhaps. According to the DA, the NHI scheme is a disaster waiting to happen. They warn it's going to be wildly expensive, a hotbed for corruption, and might even bring in tax increases that will overburden the pockets of South Africans who are not named Johan Rupert. So, unlike the UK's National Health Service, where people can still buy private insurance to avoid those notoriously long waiting lists, South Africans will have to rely on what the NHI decides is necessary. It's like saying, sure, you can have any color car you want as long as it's a shade of bureaucratic beige. However, Ramaphosa, always the optimist, argues that the NHI will tackle poverty by reducing the burden of healthcare costs on families. The rising cost of healthcare makes families poorer, he says. And he's right. In theory, a universal healthcare system should free up resources for other essentials. But critics like DA leader John Steenhuisen are skeptical. He paints a picture of money funneled into a central fund controlled by the ANC, likening it to Eskom, the national power utility that's had so many blackouts the DA has resorted to burning the national flag for light. So, well, where will the funding come from? General taxes, contributions from those earning above an unspecified amount, and monthly payments from employees. Sounds quite simple, except the government hasn't exactly nailed down the specifics. You know, like the reasons behind South Africa's National Assembly rejecting the draft resolution on the Phala Phala farm matter.
Attention kids, we have some exciting news for you. We are back, and this year we are planning on going big. So listen up. If you are in grade 3, grade 2, grade 1 or pre-primary, we are bringing your free school workbooks to you soon. This is all you need to know about where you can find your books. Books will be available for free in Republican Street Sale newspapers and all Namibian Sun newspapers. And for all pre-primary kids out there, your books will be delivered to your school in all 14 regions of Namibia. And there's more. Pre-primary books will also be printed in 9 different languages. Check out when your book will be available from the schedule right here. That's not all. Our free online school is there to help you along the way with video lessons and more books to download. You can also follow along on NTV every Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 for your daily online school lesson. We thank all our sponsors who are helping to build a brighter future for Namibia. Contact us at info@acdtrust.com and follow us on Instagram.
So, the DA claims the NHI scheme will cost over 200 billion rand per year, with some estimates going as high as $1 trillion. That's an actual trillion. We are not talking Zimbabwean dollars. Now, the DA is gearing up for a legal showdown, promising to challenge the NHI in court. They argue that restricting private health insurance is unconstitutional. The government, on the other hand, says it's fulfilling its constitutional duty to provide equal health services for all. 2 weeks away from elections, like an absent father that thinks his gift 2 weeks prior to your graduation will make up for decades of never doing his part. Even if the court gives the NHI a thumbs up, don't expect overnight miracles. The scheme will roll out gradually, possibly over several years, because the government first needs to find the money to pay for it, something you'd think they would have figured out first. Currently, only 14% of South Africans enjoy the perks of private medical care, while the remaining 86% rely on overburdened state clinics and hospitals. The NHI aims to level the playing field, but private hospitals worry they'll be swamped with patients and stuck waiting for payment from what could become a notoriously sluggish NHI fund. So, there you have it, the NHI, a bold step towards universal healthcare or a costly leap into the dark abyss. Only time will tell if South Africa's healthcare system is getting a much-needed overhaul or just another reason for tenderpreneurs to flourish. TikToks of the week after the break. So South Africans are reacting in their own unique ways to the NHI bill. Here are their TikToks of the week.
What's going on? Ne ke re wait so long canceling get a liver transplant liver le change masago wait dara
Listen, I think this is a brain tumor, so please pass me the Caesar. We're gonna have to take off that.
Hey, sorry to interrupt your surgery, man, but don't you have something for your hangover?
Sir, please, this is theater. Please go to the front desk. They're gonna help you. We're trying to remove a brain tumor right now.
But I thought we were all equal. I need to see the president sign the NHI bill. So, no man, he's dying. Namgi, from your hangover. So,
Sir, we're trying to save her life. Okay? Please, this is not the time for games. Please go to the front desk and I'll help you with your hangover.
How?
Please call security. Please pass me the Caesar.
Even if you can call security, it's fine. I need... How? Umbali, Lomus. How? If it's in how? Mbali! This is my Instagram crash. I was to please get to work. Get to work, my friend. DreamWork makes teamwork. How? My friend, I swear, if you save your life, I'll buy all of your Crocs. Mbali! Hey, banna.
I on. Now you let salary get 2,000. And I get a piece job. Get a piece job. And again, get a washing. Get a laundry. I get a piece job. So get all a mole.
Hallo Namibia, ons is by die kus en ons is lus.
Away over the Easter shot.
Okay. Okay, so yes. Please, today you make sure that we are fed. Sorry, ek assie.
Welcome back to Second Take, where we don't just stir the political poiki, we unashamedly tip it over. Let's talk about the economic freedom fighters' kapana salsa levels of spicy rejection of the National Health Insurance Bill. The EFF called the NHI bill misguided, disingenuous, and opportunistic. They argued that this supposed solution to universal health coverage is actually just the ruling ANC's desperate ploy for political points. According to them, the ANC is using public health care as a pawn in their game of political chess. The EFF claims they warned us about the NHI bill, which is easy to believe because they mostly sound like doomsday prophets whenever they speak. They argue it ignores the systemic issues plaguing public health care and serves as the ANC's admission of failure. According to them, the NHI's reliance on the private sector is like asking wolves to guard sheep. The private healthcare sector, they say, is parasitic and poorly regulated. The EFF insists that the NHI bill is full of gaps and unanswered questions. How much will it cost? Where's the administrative capacity? What did we learn from the pilot sites? The ANC's answers, they claim, are more PR fluff than substance. Any criticism is brushed off as anti-universal health coverage, but the EFF says that's nonsense. The real issue is the ANC's inability to roll out anything that isn't a scandal waiting to happen. So, will the NHI bill transform South African healthcare, or is it a house of cards built on shaky foundations? The EFF is betting on the latter. Stay tuned with Second Take, where we keep our diagnosis sharp and our commentary even sharper.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead. Get started. Thank you. Dankie en welkom terug. My naam is Ogito Greek en vandag met my in die ateljee is 'n man wie se avontuurlus skrik vir niks, meneer Colin McAdam. Colin, how are you, sir?
I'm good, and how are you doing?
I'm very well. You've just traveled all the way from Maputo to Namibia in a tuk-tuk.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How did it all start for you?
Well, how it started was like I can say, in Maputo they used as taxis, and then one day I fell in love with how cute they were, and I took a ride in one of them, and I had ideas. I was like, I'll get one and I'll do a bit of modifications, and I'll do the unthinkable. I'll just try and go coast to coast from the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean and see how that goes. Yeah.
That's incredible. For those of us who aren't so familiar, what is a tuk-tuk?
Okay, tuk-tuk is some places called an auto rickshaw, They were built for affordable transportation of people especially in Southeast Asia, and now they've come to a few African countries. So they're actually designed to be taxis, city taxis, to have low emissions and use less space. So yeah, I've pushed it to the limits.
So it's a three-wheeler?
It's a three-wheeler, yes, correct.
And a motorcycle engine?
It's got a 200cc air-cooled motorcycle engine, yeah.
And what modifications did you do to yours?
Well, I changed the roof just to put a stronger material, and I fitted a 200 watt solar panel on the roof, and I've got a 1000 watt Blue Yeti backup system that powers my 20-liter National Lunar fridge. So I can store my food, have cold drinks and stuff like that. And yeah, basically it was all tinny. I had to put doors. Then I carpeted it and did a bit of sound deadening because they're really noisy when they're just basic.
Yeah.
And apart from that, yeah, I just added a few gadgets like my GPS. I put a GPS speedometer just to be accurate for speed traps and things like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, fitted the spare wheel at the back, added jerry cans, but otherwise it's all just standard stock.
Okay.
Yep.
Before we continue, tell us a bit more about yourself. Where were you born?
Okay, my name is Colin McAdam again. I was born and raised in Malawi. Yeah. And so moved to Mozambique like 2 years ago for work issues and stuff. And yeah, that's about it. And by profession, I'm a mechanic. I do woodwork as well, bit of electrical stuff. So a bit of everything.
Okay. When did you set off on this journey?
I set off on the 7th of April. Yep. Sure.
And you went from Maputo to...
I went from Maputo to the south eastern border. That's called Chikwalakwala. On the Zimbabwean side, it's called Sango.
Okay.
Then from there, I went to a little town called Rutenga. Then I started heading east to the Great Zimbabwe Ruins.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I did a bit of exploring there. From there, I went to the Midlands of Zimbabwe, to a town called Gweru.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a beautiful oasis there called Antelope Park. It's very fascinating. Then from there, I went to Bulawayo. From Bulawayo, I went to Vic Falls. From Vic Falls, I crossed into Botswana, Kasane. It's a short gap there. Then into Katima Mulilo. Then I started making my way down all the way to Swakopmund.
Wow.
And then from there got to Walvis Bay and took the desert road, the Namib Norcroft Park Road.
Yes.
To Windhoek, yeah, where I am now.
Awesome.
Yep.
And just to give audience a little bit of an idea, how fast can you go?
It's slow. It's slow going. Like the average speed is like 65 to 70 kilometers. On the downhill, you can push it to 80, but yeah, I would say 65, 70, but let's put it at 65.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it takes a bit of time.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time, but it gives you, I think when you go slow, you have a chance to see a lot of stuff than when you're going fast. So I just take that as an advantage to like just see whatever is on the side of the road, stop, talk to people, and yeah.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your interactions with the people and on the road. You know, we've got a lot of trucks on the road here. Have they been nice to you?
Yeah, the truck guys have been really respectful to my size on the road. I mean, they've really not tried to push me off, even the buses. Everyone has been exciting to everyone overtaking me, has tried to pull out their phones to take a picture or short video.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really good. I haven't had any issues with like the size of my vehicle on the road. Yeah.
And the police?
The police were more interested in asking me what the thing was than to ask, where's your driver's license and where are your documents? It was more like, what's this thing, you know?
Yeah.
Then I would explain to them and it would be all smiles and then, yeah, that's it.
No, awesome.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of reason behind the trip? Are you doing it for charity or awareness?
Not at all. It's nothing to do with charity or I'm not sponsored at all. It's self-sponsored. I just did it just to show people that there are things you can do without having the right per se equipment that you're supposed to use. Say like to do a trip like this, you don't need a big 4x4 with a big bumper, winch, shovels and ladders and stuff. I've actually gone to places where all these guys go with their 4x4s and I've made it. And it's just to inspire people to like, you know, you don't have to wait for the right time or the right equipment, you can just, you know what, just go out there and just do it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. But this isn't your first adventure.
No, I've done quite a few adventures with my 4x4, and then from there I started thinking differently. I wanted to start doing these adventures in like ridiculous vehicles, like old vehicles or small motorcycles and stuff. So now I'm on the tuk-tuk, so next year it will be something else. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. And you've had a few days here in Namibia. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I entered Namibia on the 18th. So yeah, I've been here for quite a bit, 2.5 or close to 3 weeks. Loving Namibia, beautiful, very good people. I mean, like when I came to Windhoek, just people who I met on my Facebook page actually stored my tuk-tuk for about 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were so good to me, the very good families, and everyone in Namibia is really good.
Yeah.
I've had no problem whatsoever. It's been really nice.
And your own family got a chance to come visit?
My own family had a chance to come and visit me for 5 days. Yeah, so yeah.
What did they say?
They loved it.
Yeah?
Like my wife and daughter, it was their first time. Like I've been to Namibia before, but only to the Caprivi a couple of years ago. Yeah. I never came down the side. So they were really fascinated with the landscapes and how cold the seaside can be here.
Yeah, the desert can be
yeah, so we
tricky.
had a good time. We did a bit of exploring. We went to Cape Cross and Walvis Bay. So yeah, they really enjoyed it.
But they've gone back now?
They've gone back now.
And you're going to set off tomorrow?
I'm setting off tomorrow morning for Botswana.
Okay, for Botswana. What's your plan then?
Well, the same thing. I don't make an itinerary. I just go with the flow, and I just like to make it. I like surprises, like just be surprised. I haven't planned everything in advance where I'm going to stay or what. I just get in the area and see what's there, and yeah.
What's your main advice for somebody who'd like to also take a trip like this?
Well, just be a little tough, because it can get tough out there. I mean, when you're alone, there are times where you really feel vulnerable and stuff, but you just have to be brave and go for it. There's some road conditions. You find yourself in the middle of nowhere without any help.
Yeah.
You just have to be ready for whatever, and yeah, but it's doable.
It's doable.
You can do it, yeah.
And your tuk-tuk is equipped? You've got spare tires?
Yeah, I've got a spare tire. I've got a couple of spares, just basic spares like clutch cables and yeah, little toolbox. I can't go very heavy because I have to keep the weight light.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. But so far I haven't had a major breakdown. Fingers crossed, I've still got 3,000 kilometers to get back home. Yeah.
No, awesome. Okay, just to say goodbye, what's your message to people who are watching?
Well, my message is if you want to do anything in life, I mean, you shouldn't find any kind of restrictions or think that you have to be a certain way or do things a certain way to do it. Just be yourself and do what you like, and go for it. I would say just go for it. Yep.
Daar sê, thank you very much, Colin.
Thank you
for
having
me. En op die noot, bly by ons, daar is nog om te kom. Baie dankie.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
The National Health Insurance Bill is stirring up a storm that's far from over. From the DA's dire predictions to the EFF's fiery condemnation, it sounds like the future of South Africa's healthcare system hangs in the balance. Will the quote-unquote ANC's NHI deliver on its promises of universal care, or is it just another last-second attempt at gaining voters close to the election, like the questionable timing of Robert Mugabe's land reform program? I'm not saying that there isn't a first time for everything. All I'm saying is, when it comes to health, a second take might be a minute too late.